I'm pro Danielle at this point. I don't care.
Oh God, dude, ew.
I don't know how to break it to the Discord yet, but like I'm pro Danielle. I think that
Oh,
she's played a really good game, and I think that she's in it to win
ew.
it.
No.
All right. Welcome to the Floor is Ours, where we know what Alan was wearing last night. I'm Luke Melanie. I'm a Survivor and RuPaul pull-in, and now Traitors superfan across all regions.
And I'm Max Bass, and I am, as I said last episode, I'm a summer house guy. Dabble in the housewives, but I'm a summer house guy. I've been watching that. Glad that I can at least continue to see Sierra on my TV in Summer House now that she has unfortunately been eliminated from the Traitors. Spoiler alerts, now that I've spoiled something already, but if you're not caught up on season 3, episode 8 of the Traitors, please discontinue watching, but come back. For those who are watching, thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe to the channel. There'll be more episodes in the future. Drop us a like, drop us a comment. We're building an audience from scratch here, and we're excited to do it. Luke, what did you think of last night's episode?
I enjoyed it. I'm a Tom super fan at this point. I love him. Tom is my player of the week.
Tell me why.
Absolutely dominated the challenges. Without Tom there, they were getting $0. Fact of life. Nothing. I know money doesn't really matter for all these people, but for some of them in prior seasons, it has. They were getting $0 without Tom. He's the only one that didn't explicitly search for a shield the entire time. He's the only one putting himself out there singing as someone who does not have a good singing voice. I can appreciate that he put himself out there. He's shocked that he made it through. The face he made when he saw Alan in the chapel, beautiful. And the cheating comment was next level plan. It's like he knows what his brand is, and he just wanted to find a way to interject it and know that it was going to get in the episode. And if he subtly says cheat instead of be a traitor, then he knows that that's getting in, because it got 4 reactions of just cuts of shots to people double taking.
He had his viral moment. I loved when he said he was musically inclined. As someone who's also musically inclined, I got 3 out of the 4 jingles that the dolls were singing. But to your point, watching him not be able to not chase the shield and really focus on the mission, fantastic job by Tom. Tom was also going to be my player of the week, but just so as to not double up, I'm gonna go with Sam begrudgingly. And it's interesting that in a game that I think has actually flipped in terms of the gender dynamic, where it was being run by a bunch of gamer dudes, it's now predominantly women who are running the game. I still think Sam was the player of the week. He had probably the best theory that I've ever seen in Traitors in terms of being able to catch a traitor, in regards to catching, trying to identify what Alan was wearing. Although I do think that the Traitors did see Alan that night, because Carolyn knew that he was wearing black. She really fumbled over that and almost got caught. But as I said last episode, her awkwardness and the consistency of her awkwardness allows her to skate by in intense situations.
That had to be the most airtight, best evidence, because evidence here is a really fuzzy term, but that was the best evidence that we've ever seen.
It was, and I think that he can, if he's smart, he's going to be able to lean on that later in the game. A traitor would not have come up with that type of purity test for faithfuls, and I think ultimately it's going to get him killed. But I do think that it's going to keep him from getting banished.
If they'd gotten one person to not vote Sierra, or if Sam had not voted Sierra, he would have gotten my player of the week. But he voted Sierra. He followed the crowd. He was a part of it. And
he led that. I mean,
that's not how you win. That's not how you win.
He led that. And despite Sierra being my favorite player at the time, now that she's gone, I'm gonna have to pick a new one. But I do understand having to put the coffin theory to bed. I understand the need there. They'd always be wondering about it. And while disappointing, I understand. I really wish that Sierra had leaned harder into her case that Jeremy had Danielle's name in his mouth and he was dead the next day, because you know that I want her gone. Speaking of theories, Luke, I'm actually going to jump to another topic. The coffin theory was the predominant theory that led to Sierra getting banished last night, as we know. It's now, as they said, been put to rest. There's no one who was in the coffins left, and they now know that they were all faithfuls in those coffins. There are a few remaining theories, and or whether they're fan theories or actual competitor theories, that are still remaining on the table. What's the top remaining theory that you are following? Doesn't have to be the strongest, but what do you think is the most interesting?
The Brittany one. Brittany had an opportunity, I think, to align herself more to the housewives, to the Bambi crowd, and instead she aligned herself to Danielle, which super risky play. We've seen Danielle, her behavior is erratic at times and jumping all over the place. So,
and the two of them don't have a good history. Like, Brittany's fucked her over in Big Brother at the very end. So it's interesting. Perfect time for revenge for Danielle.
Right. I think the Brittany theory, it's that pattern analysis. Just, hey, Boston Rob would have taken out another traitor idea. Right. Mm-hmm. And so I think
like Sierra,
that's the strongest
Rob,
one.
And so, yeah, it's I get it. Proximity to Boston Rob. That's the problem.
100%. And yeah. I think that they never come up with, this crowd has lost theories of their own. It's almost entirely gone at this point that anyone is thinking critically about the game. Outside of the Traitors are thinking very critically about this game. And so I think that they'll follow that same exact plot line. They'll get to Brittany's behavior. They'll get to the quietness. They'll get to, oh, she did not help on the challenge at all. She only searched for a shield. We know that because she and Danielle were utterly soaked by that doll. Hilarious challenge, by the way. I thought it was going to be terrible, and then I absolutely loved it.
No, it's fantastic. It's fantastic. It reminded me of the bird challenge last season where they were doing bird calls, but this one was definitely better watching Sandoval sing. My favorite theory, my favorite remaining theory, and I hate to beat a dead horse here, but it is the Danielle theory that any number of people have just mentioned as an aside. The shaking, the crying, the over dramatization of every moment. I really need that theory to come home to roost. I need her to get grilled at the round table. I do think that she had a really solid defense last night for herself. I thought it was annoyingly strong because I obviously want her out of the game, but I do think that they're starting to stack some evidence against her, and they're weeding out the most obvious or the most suspicious candidates. And I think that someone like Tom, who was inquiring with Carolyn about what went on between the two of them, and Carolyn just has so little suspicion on her right now, that I do think that it's possible that the Danielle is just not playing the game like a faithful would.
She voted for Boston Rob twice, which I think is going to be her soundbite for the rest of this. I voted for Boston Rob twice because a traitor would do it once. A traitor would do it once, but for a traitor to do it twice means they put up with some real bullshit in the turret.
It's a great call. She also had a chance to put her face up there for a shield during the riddles, and she not once but twice put someone else's face up there because she felt super safe. So like let's just let those two things cancel each other out, and then pay more attention to the shaking and the crying, and just acknowledge that like there is reason for her to be under suspicion.
All right, back into Danielle's shoes we go. Your traitor this week. What are you doing?
I'm going to start with what I'm not doing. And while I recognize that in a vacuum, in a world where Danielle hadn't already tried to fuck over Carolyn, the move would be to recruit Brittany. I think that would be the smartest move for the Traitors if the Traitors were united. She already has suspicion against her. It would allow them to potentially throw her under the bus, put to bed the female theory that's running around, and I think that they would be able to skate to the end, the two of them at the very least, and then decide whether they want to screw each other over. That said, I'm recruiting a guy.
Say it correctly. You're seducing.
I'm seducing a guy. I know it doesn't help with the women theory, but I think that it could help. The men are the ones who are pushing the women theory, and they can begin to manipulate the idiot Ivar and the freaking the snake Sam. And I think that the person that you want to recruit is probably Sam, or Sam. Sam is probably the one that you want to recruit because no one's listening to Tom. Dylan would fall apart, having to not be honest with everyone and pour his heart out onto the table. And Ivar, as you said, he's just really he's just not.
Who are you on the phone with, Ivar? Who are you calling?
Who are you calling? He's not operating on full capacity. And so I'm recruiting Sam. I'm forcing him into a position where he has to be a snake. If I'm Carolyn, I'm immediately teaming up with Sam, screwing over Danielle and throwing her under the bus. I'm riding it to the end as the two of them. And as you know, I'm cheering for Carolyn if I have to cheer for the Traitors. So that's my move. What would you do, Luke?
I'm seducing Tom immediately. As may have been hinted in previous, I'm a Tom super fan at this point. I think that he immediately gets sacrificed, and they say, "Oh, that gender theory was wrong and has been perpetrated by a whole bunch of men." I wonder if they thought that they could get rid of half of the game that way by pushing this theory, and then they wipe out the other three guys who are just not going to have a defense, and they're not going to have the numbers. So seduce Tom, immediately sacrifice him. He will have no idea what's coming. And get to the point where it's 3 against 2 type of scenario. And then it's no holds barred, right? That's chaos at this point. I am super excited that no one has to say what they were as they exit now. That's going to make this a lot more fun.
I'm going to pull up my tweet. I'm going to pull up my tweet from last year, or my Discord post from last year, and just show that was one of the changes that I asked for. I'm really glad that they made that. I really could go for like a 2 to 3 minute supercut of Tom and Carolyn's faces just on repeat. Like that would feed families, I think. It would be. I've watched the whole thing. Maybe I don't know what song I'd like it cut to. Maybe Enya or something like that. I think it'd just be entertaining. Catch me up on where you are in Australia season 2.
We're episode 2 or 3, okay, silly early, and Sammy is just giving straight psychopath vibes. Yeah, let's use Tom as our example of good gameplay. Get the fuck out of here. I said Sam, not Tom. I said Sam. Oh, Sam. Went on Sierra. Wait, Sam? Oh, Sam did, yeah. Sorry, I keep forgetting who Sam is. The one you said last episode, that he was so forgettable, and then he better show us something. And then literally the next episode, he comes up with the best way of testing, the best traitor test that's ever been invented, which Tom immediately ruined. Then he railroads my favorite character in the game. Complete garbage.